our humble abode.
Thank you.
So good to have you here. So explain a bit, because you are from Carlton In Business. We've got an amazing relationship. We've known each other for 18 months now?
Probably about that. Not that I play favourites, but...
But, you know, how can you not have a favourite when you're dealing with an awesome guy like me?
Exactly.
So explain a bit about what you do. You work in Carlton In Business.
Correct.
In a very male-dominated area, one would assume.
Yes, correctly
I see you as a
assumed.
really strong woman in business.
Thank you.
So I want to hear all about that.
Oh, okay. Well, in essence, do you want me to explain what Carlton In Business is?
Yes, please.
Perfect. In essence, it's a corporate network. So rather than focusing on individuals who sign up to a group, we focus on organisations.
Yep.
So the premise of my role is to essentially connect organisations to create opportunities, which is... It is the coolest thing. Like, I count my lucky stars every day. It is...
So a lot of coffees, a lot of lunches, dinners, functions.
Correct. Yeah. And like, I mean, we've got amazing people within the network, and it's funny because I have a property management background and a real estate background.
Yes.
And, you know, you deal with people who are complaining about their toilet being broken or something leaking or the lights not turning on.
Yeah.
And then you flip to a role like this where it's literally people saying thank you to you every day and creating opportunities. It's so gratifying in terms of what I do, which is, it's a massive change from what I went from. So it's pretty amazing, and I'm super grateful for what I get to do, because I get to meet people like you and, you know, deal with companies like Treasury Wine Estates, Electrolux, you guys, like from accountants to massive multinational businesses. Like it's...
And like you said too, you're, you know, in a job where you're just constantly seeing people happy, seeing people celebrating at social events and functions. So that's obviously why you've got such amazing energy. That transfers to it, because you're just in amazing energy all the time. Because people aren't getting the shits coming to a social event or to sit down for a dinner and have, you know, a good plate of food and some wine, and everyone's pretty happy.
Exactly. And you're creating amazing opportunities, and I think that's what's great about Carlton as well, is I think we've broken the mould from a standard partnership where it's whack your logo on our jumper and expect millions of dollars in return. It's now, okay, what works for you? And it's not about the footy for our corporate network, which, as much as I love the football and it tends to be a common denominator for a lot of people, you know, you guys are Essendon supporters, we've got Collingwood supporters, but that's okay.
But it's an amazing, you know, it's an amazing group of people.
Exactly.
And Carlton Business, and that's why we joined. You know, Mark's obviously Collingwood, I'm Essendon. You know, we were told that this is one of the best networking groups that you'll join, and it has been. It's been really amazing. I met some incredible people.
Yeah, and it's about what works for you too. So,
totally.
I mean, with the gratitude stuff, like, yes, it's not particularly let's drive dollars towards your business, but it's about let's deliver an experience that you're proud of, you're passionate about, and that can really drive something amazing for our members.
It's pretty much the same thing, right? Because with our gratitude thing that we're doing in the Carlton Business, it's the fundamental is connecting people.
Correct.
And creating a community. Yeah. So it's fundamentally it's the same. We've just got probably less wine in our stuff. But we can work on that. But tell me about you know, because obviously at the moment, being a woman in business and you know, seeing some really amazing women emerging into some really big roles. Yeah. You know, construction is heavily focused on a really male-dominated industry, but we're seeing a lot more women come through and some really amazing people doing amazing jobs. You are very much, I don't know if it's probably weighted more in men in your industry than in what it is in construction. Because the teams, you know, it's besides the women's football, which, you know, I want to ask you about that as well, but where you are with Carlton In Business and, you know, all the games that you go to and set up, it's all the boys. It's very much a big boys club to a degree. Yeah. And like, so how's that been, and how, because you are amazing at what you do, how's that working with all the boys?
I find it, like, I don't mind working in a male-dominated industry. I never have, particularly coming from real estate. That's a potentially even more of a boys' club, particularly being in an old-school real estate firm. It was pretty full-on. So coming to Carlton, it's a different culture. And yes, although it's heavily male-dominated, you never feel like you're one out being the female.
Yeah.
But in saying that, there is a really big push to create more gender equality throughout the club, the network.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, it's no one's fault. The way it started was essentially our board and our president, Mark, in particular, pulling all of his mates and going, you've got an amazing network, you need to be part of this, you've got an amazing organisation, be part of this.
Yeah.
And so we've grown at a rapid rate because of the connections that these guys have. But ultimately, it was built off a football club. So,
which is,
of course it is, but there is an amazing group of females, and I surround myself, and I've been really lucky to be surrounded by females who lift you up as opposed to females who can sometimes gaslight each other and sort of, push each other into a corner. So I got my role actually through Lee Russell, who is the ex-CEO of Swimming Australia, and I take my hat off to her every single day because she is potentially one of the most strong-headed and powerful females from a business and sporting perspective that I've met. And I sort of, I use her as a bit of a role model and sort of, I guess, try and utilise some of the things she said to me in terms of, it's not about creating a females club and a men's club. How do we bring females into the network so they feel comfortable and they feel confident and they can see the benefit of the network as opposed to just seeing it as something that's aligned to a football club. And we've sort of seen a bit of an uptake in the female memberships
because you guys had the was it on International Women's Day? We sent a few of the girls from the office here as well.
Yes, you did. So there's a focus on that, which is really exciting. And Lee actually spoke at that, funnily enough. And there's a focus on, I guess, creating an environment that makes these women feel like they're not just walking into a, I guess, sea of ties, which is a lot of what football functions are. And it's a really hard code to crack, and if anyone's got any tips, let me know. But there are an amazing group of females who want to help and who want to create change within the club, and so we're really working towards that. But I don't know, I'm lucky to be surrounded by men and women who there is no sort of definition of, it's a boys' club, we don't want to talk to females. There's no bullshit.
Is that the key, do you think? Is it, because is it the key to just working with the right people?
I think so. Because
some people will, obviously be prejudiced to it, or like, I'm a bloke and this is a nice guy. Or some people are like, you know what, that doesn't matter. For us, we don't give a shit if man, woman, whatever.
Correct.
As long as you can do the job.
I was about to say, I think it's a capability thing. Yeah. If you say you're going to do something and you do it and you do it well.
Without a sense of entitlement or any sort of crap, you just smash out and get on with it.
Yeah, why would anyone question you otherwise? And I think that's where I've found myself in my position is, I know I'm capable, I say I'm going to do something to someone and I do it and I deliver on it, and then I've got respect because of that, which I'm really proud of. And, I don't want to put myself down and say, I can't do that because I'm a female. I know I can do it, and then I'm pretty good at it. So I think because I go into most settings with that attitude, and it's kind of, you hold your head high, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I've walked in the room and gone, oh my fucking God, this is scary, what have I done? Yeah. But if you go, you know what, I can do it, I'm good at it.
Yeah, totally.
No one's going to question you.
So, and is that the advice you would give to young, upcoming women who are, going through, coming out and looking and going, shit, where do I go, what do I do? And because I can imagine it could be really daunting coming into a construction or property development or into an AFL business where it's just mostly blokes. What sort of advice would you give to someone who's going down that path?
I read a statistic the other day that said if a man reads a job description and he thinks he can do 20% of it, then he'll apply. And if a woman reads a job description and she thinks she can do 80% of it, then she'll apply. I mean, that's bullshit. I probably wasn't, I didn't actually finish a uni degree in the end because I moved to Sydney and life got too busy and, we create excuses, but I didn't. And, I was probably not qualified to do the role I do, but Lee said, apply for it, and I was like, I can't do that, Lee. She was like, Sam, apply for it. You were born to do this role. This is you. It's like, okay. So I applied for it, and I walked away from the initial discussion with Morton and Rob going, this is the role for me. But shit, I'm still probably not qualified. So I still interviewed, and I got it, and I love it. So I think my advice is give it a crack and do it with confidence. Like, I think we're so quick to question ourselves, but
totally
back yourself in. Yeah. Like, and now I'm literally having the time of my life in a job. Not many people can say that. Yeah. So.
And also too, you know, like I said before, it's just taking action. You know, that's probably a massive part of it as well, isn't it? And is that what you found, that when you went into that role that you felt like you were unqualified for it, but the biggest part of it is just, okay, this is what you need to do, and just do it.
Yeah, even when I caught up with Lee, I remember sat down, she was like, so, like, how can I help? Like, what can I do? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I just needed someone to talk to who wasn't mum, who wasn't dad, who wasn't Nick, and could just give me some advice that wasn't do real estate because you can make lots of money. That it was, like, I remember her saying to me, what do you like doing? I was like, I love talking to people. She's like, yeah. And I was like, I like building relationships. She's like, oh, great, again. Like, and I could only sort of pinpoint those things that I knew that I loved doing and connecting people and building relationships. And I've somehow landed the job that literally epitomizes those things.
And you know, do you think there's a part of it that, you know, putting it out there and taking a bit of a risk on yourself, taking a gamble on you, and not settling to a large degree and saying, okay, well, this is what I want and this is what I deserve?
Definitely.
Because if you don't go after those things that you deserve, you are just settling for something that
100%
is going to get you by.
Yeah. Like, real estate feels like a distant memory. And like, we're looking to buy a house at the moment. Yeah. And I go into a property and I see the real estate agent and I'm like, oh, silly you. Well, you could be so happy. And look, they probably are, and there's people who are amazing at it.
And that's for them, and that's their journey.
Correct. And it just feels so far away.
But the really cool thing about, you know, particularly I think living in Australia, is that we've got so much opportunity.
So much.
To pivot into anything that we want to do.
Correct.
Quite literally, I think we're probably the luckiest country in the world for that.
Oh, 100%.
We can change our mind and say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to try and do this.
Exactly.
Whereas a lot of other countries as well, they say, well, no, this is my survival, this is my bread and butter at the end of the week.
100%.
If I don't do this, I don't eat.
Exactly.
So we're quite lucky in that sense to be here.
So privileged.
Tell me a bit more about Lee. So you mentor, definitely sounds like that.
Yeah, and I'm so lucky. I've got a few mentors now, who I've met, you know, through work or through the club or through just broader networks. Yeah. And Lee, I mean, you talk about a powerhouse couple, is actually married to the high performance coach at Carlton. So that is how I met her.
Energy plus.
Correct. Yeah. And I mean, literally two of the strongest people I know in Andrew and in Lee. Yeah. So yeah, she's ex-CEO of Swimming Australia, and she's now working within the male champions of change space. Right. So she's just a powerhouse and so generous with her time, so powerful, so strong, so sure of what she's going for. And she's actually created a sort of platform this year around women in sport and sort of heroing females within sport and putting up positions that are, you know, available within sport that females should be going for and probably aren't because of what we spoke about before. So, she's an amazing woman, and I'm very, very lucky to have her in my family.
How important has that relationship been for you?
Well, I wouldn't have known about my job if it wasn't for her and it wasn't for her connections. And I think I wouldn't, even if I did know about it, I probably wouldn't have gone for it. Yeah. So in terms of the impact she's had on my professional career, profound. Yeah. And in terms of the impact she's had on me and my confidence, profound. Massive. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful for her, and probably she doesn't know enough either. So
a lot of people, you know, they downplay the benefit of having a business coach, life coach, or a mentor. For me, I think it's fundamental to have that. Yeah. In you know, anything you're doing, to A, to keep you accountable, but B, to push yourself to
100%
the next. And is that the sort of do you still find that? Is she still pushing you and questioning you? And
yeah, to a certain degree. And I probably haven't caught up with her recently enough to be actually. I'm like, I should call it. But yeah, to a certain degree. And like, I remember even when we caught up around this role, it was sort of the questions she asked really pushed me to go, like, what am I good at? What don't I like doing? What don't I like about real estate? What do I like about it? What is it that... And, you know, I think, you know, she was quick to say, your career is not linear. It's not going to go like this. It's probably going to go like this, and then over there, and then here, and then there. Yeah. And so I think that's caused me to go, you know what, I can do anything, and you can do anything at any time. And don't sort of... I think it's funny, people go, what's your 5-year plan? I don't know. I don't need to know.
But you can pivot and change so much through that 5-year plan as well.
Correct.
That what you start as a trajectory now could end up somewhere completely different in
100%.
A year's time.
Exactly.
And as long as you're ready to roll with that and move and pivot, because ultimately you're choosing, there's so many different streams and parts. You get to choose which path. I think there's a part of it there's a little bit of bullshit to it that, your destiny is set. If you want to believe that, I think you can.
Yeah.
But you get to choose, okay, well, hang on, there's a stream over there. Maybe I'll follow that and see where that takes me.
Yeah.
Because you change from where you start to where you are now. I'm sure
Correct.
You've changed leaps and bounds from where you were to where you are. And part of that change, I think, for me is about being a human, and the growth is imperative to reaching ultimate success.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? What's ultimate success for you?
So that's...
Buying a house is number one.
No. I don't know. I'm a big believer in that you create your own luck. So, because it's funny, because my sister and I are polar opposites.
Yeah.
And so she's always said I'm really lucky.
Yeah.
Whereas I always think I've created my own luck. And I know right now I look at where I'm at and I'm like, I am chuffed to be here. Like, so happy in my current space, in my current world. Like, right now my life looks like success to me.
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool.
That's rare to find from people too, that they can actually sit in this space right now, be present and say, you know what, I'm fucking wrapped with where I am right now.
100%. And I've got like so much growth, and it's where we are really lucky at Carlton, because I've got people around me who go, footy might not be forever. So what's next? Where are the opportunities, and what's the right fit for you and the right next step for you? Because God knows, I don't really know.
So do you plan for that, or you just kind of float and be like, you know what, where I am now is really good, and maybe something in the future is going to come up that's going to be even better?
Yeah, I think you're always thinking about it. Like, and I am, as I said, I'm so happy in my role, my relationship. I've got a beautiful family, got the best dog. Like, everything is really good.
Yeah.
Trust me, we're trying to buy a house and it's doing my head in. But what, like, kind of doesn't mean much in the whole scheme of things. You know what I mean? It's a house.
Totally.
Like,
we
live in the rental at the moment. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know, in terms of ultimate success, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty happy.
Last question for you, and I want you to really dig deep on this.
Oh, okay.
And I think you know what the question's going to be.
Do I?
Because I think you've already done this question once or twice before.
Oh, okay, yeah, I do know what it is.
So if you could give credit or thanks to one person in your life that you haven't given credit to, or you haven't thought to give credit or thanks to, who would that person be and why?
I've answered this differently the 2 times I've answered it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to revert back to my first answer.
Yes.
It's for my partner, Nick.
Yeah.
Reason being, so we met when I was 15.
Yeah.
We got together a year later. So we've been together, it'll be 10 years in November.
No, congratulations.
Thank you. Still no ring, but that's okay.
No ring, Nick, come on. Let's go, mate.
You hear me?
No pressure.
But I don't know, it's funny because we met when we were both living on the peninsula, young kids. And the fact that we somehow grew together as opposed to growing apart, because we've both done a lot of growing up since then.
Yeah.
So grateful for. Like, we moved to Sydney, so Nick moved to Sydney the year before I did, and then I moved up there with him. And from a growth perspective for both of us, it was huge. So I'm so grateful for that opportunity alone, because I think if we hadn't have done that, there's every chance that we'd still be living on the peninsula. He could be a carpenter. Who knows what I'd be doing? I don't even know. And it's like, even that opportunity alone. And then, to come back down here and create a life for ourselves. And like, he, as you know, he plays at the club as well. And even for him to have the, I guess, perspective to say, this role is the role for you. Yes, I think a lot of the time he does feel like I'm encroaching on his space. But for him to put me first and my happiness first and go, you know what, I know that you're going to be amazing at this and you should be doing this. And to have the space to step back and go and see that. Whereas I think a lot of people would have gone, oh my God, no way, that's my workplace, don't you dare. Stay away from it.
Yeah.
And to now that he sees how happy I am and he's in an amazing place as well, like, it's just, I'm grateful for what we've got.
Yeah.
The clear communication, the happiness that we brought each other. And I think, it's a really special place to be in, that, we've grown together, and I'm very grateful for the push that he's given me in terms of doing this role, moving to Sydney, everything that we've done together. And, you know, yes, some people would say I've followed him around the country, which I kind of did, but it was for the best. Support too, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you think that, so is it the communication that is the key driver for you guys in supporting each other as well, and letting you know, you be your individual and letting Nick be his individual person and supporting
100%.
that with each other?
Yeah. 100%. And it's funny, we are so different. Like, he is the feet on the ground, he's rational, he's, you know, very black and white, and I'm probably quite emotional, a bit of a dreamer, and a bit sort of, you know, head in the clouds sometimes, and particularly now we're trying to buy the house. It's really interesting.
I think that traits is something obviously that you're super grateful for, that he brings to you. Yeah. And there's parts of you that would bring to him.
Yeah. And I'm a morning person, he's not, which he hates. But things like that, it's those little sort of idiosyncrasies that make it really work. And it's funny, any of my friends would say, oh my God, even after 9.5 years, you're obsessed with him. Yeah. I'm like, how good is that?
That's amazing.
It's so cool.
And it's an amazing place to be in, with someone that you can see the rest of your life with them.
Yeah.
What sort of emotions does that make you, you know, what do you feel when you think about him and how grateful you are for him?
Oh, just happy.
Yeah.
Like, it is such a cool place to be in.
Yeah.
Like, chuffed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, like, happiness is the best word to use, because it is. He's really, really great. So it's funny, because I said to him this morning we went for a walk, and I said, is there anything I shouldn't say today? He's like, oh, just don't hang too much shit on me. I was like, ask anyone. I'm obsessed with you. He's like, he's like, no. I was like, I only hang shit on you when you're around. I was like, you poor thing.
Well, he could win some games, you know, like.
Oh gosh, don't even start. We'll beat you guys in a few weeks. Yeah, so well, that's, don't you worry.
I'm not going to say anything about that. But that's an awesome answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I really hope, and I'm sure that there's some amazing messages in there for some young women out there.
I do hope so.
And like I said, you know, I really do see you as a really strong woman in business. Super amazing person, super friendly,
thanks,
and always with a smile.
Thank you.
So thanks for coming on board.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.
Yeah.
First podcast.
I know.
Woo.
Woo!
That's great.
That was good.
9:41.
God, you saw jaw. Smiling too hard.
Yeah, that was gold. Okay,
that's cool.
I reckon we should do a follow-up on this.